Hey, good people. Welcome back to Larry Jones TV on, this is actually a Sunday. Listen, make sure that you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for this, a newer channel. Okay. Right now, we're talking about crypto, and then I'm going to give my inspirational on this one. Okay. So this one will be time stamped. I know a lot of people are coming over, should I say, from Stock Up You over here to Larry Jones TV. And you're coming for the inspirational, but I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, XRP, and then I'm going to go into my inspirational. Again, this will be time stamped, and please share this with your friends. And then later on this page, we'll draw a friend to something else. Look, let's talk about crypto, okay? And again, my plans for my crypto has not changed. I will allow you guys to see what I'm doing. And what I mean by that is I'm going to come here the very day that I shift. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. I shared in the past, I've shared my portfolios, all of my portfolio stocks and crypto in my money moves. And there'll be a link beneath for that. All right. Right now, we're just focusing on building generational wealth. So let's go right to it. Here, why crypto wealth may never make it to the next generation. Now, they're going to note a few points, and I'm going to note, I'll just tell you right now, because people down the road will be less apt to sell. I'm going to add that to what they say. People are going to hold. Now, what they're telling you is very important. Why crypto wealth may never make it to the next generation, because it's so new. Many people neglect to account for crypto in their estate plans. Okay, you guys know about the estate plans, and they don't let their siblings know about their crypto and where their crypto is, because we are taught to be very quiet about it and very protective over our crypto, right? And so we know that that is one of the things. I thought that was an interesting article. Here's another interesting article, and we'll go deeper into my crypto plan. Just want to keep you guys abreast on what's happening. If you invested $1,000 in the XRP years ago, here's how much you would have today. We know how that goes. You know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Here's one example. XRP extends to most cross-border payments faster and cheaper. I told you guys this 2 years ago, that this is why I do like XRP outside of all of the hype. This is why I bought XRP based on its use case. And I personally, again, I don't chase necessarily news stories. I chase liquidity, okay? And I buy when it's low. We'll go into that a little longer. The crypto volatility makes it hard to store value, okay? The cross-border payment market is expected to grow a lot in the coming years. That is true. The cross-border market, everybody's trying to get into it. JP Morgan is trying to do their own payment system because they want some of this XRP money. Okay. However, a few non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies have gained traction and presented real world use cases, with XRP, crypto XRP being one of them. I've said it over and over and over and over, and people choose to only cherry pick out of my videos what they want to hear. Okay. At the time of writing, XRP's price, that was $2.20 at the time that this came out. That's up 465% in the past 3 years. Just the past 3 years, 465%. And for those of you that are greedy and impatient, that's a massive, massive, massive gain. So as we look at crypto right now for the hour, you see a sea of green. Why? Everything is up in the last hour. But you got to keep your eyes on crypto Sunday nights and the Monday mornings, all right? Because of the Asian markets and what have you. But if you go to the day, it's still green. Here's where we're going to see red when we go to the week. Now, sometimes this is moving a little slow. But if you really look at where crypto is, we're flat for the week. Flat for the week. So we gained in the last hour up 1% and 1.75% in the last day. But we could see that we are mostly flat for the week. All right. XRP is actually down 210, down 4% for the week. But here's what I would tell you. If I was just getting in, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. If I was just getting in at this point, I would just be using this fear and greed index. Now, on Friday, we were up here because Bitcoin had made a little move, so people are less fearful and they start buying up here. And the people that were buying up here, that it was moving, now they're not touching it here. You and I, we buy the further down this goes this way to the red, extreme fear. We buy more here and we buy less here. That is a key indicator that will help you make money with crypto, all crypto, including XRP. Okay, so now here's what I want to show you guys. You got to look at Bitcoin also with XRP. Let me just get right to it. You could see here over the last 5 years, I have Bitcoin, BTC, and I have XRP. I have them stacked for you guys to see. Now, you could clearly see that they are both up. And I am a proponent of having them both. Don't sell one for the other. Have them both, get dry powder, and buy them both. Now, I want you to notice that this says Bitcoin USD and this says XRP USD. They are both up handsomely over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years, Bitcoin has outperformed XRP. But as you can see right here, you can see November 9th, 2024, XRP had the greatest jump here in 2024. You guys see that? I can't go to a 2-year, but I can go to a 1-year. If you go to a 1-year, they're both down, but you really need to go to a 2-year to see that right here is where XRP really took off. Somebody leave me in the chat why November 2nd, 2024. You guys know what happened, the election and all of that, right? That's when everything started to take off, okay? So I wanted to show you that, but I wanted to end with this. A lot of people are asking, how do I buy the XRP ETF, right? Let me just go through that with you, right? So here, I want you to see we have USD, right? So what I'm going to do now is go to Bitcoin and I'm going to put in IBIT. This is just one of them, okay? So if I wanted to buy a Bitcoin ETF, this is BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and add them under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in IBIT, I-B-I-T, okay? And that's a way to buy Bitcoin through the stock market, okay? All right, now here's how you buy XRP ETF. You simply put in XRP and you can see here Bitwise is one of the ETFs that has XRP. Now it's brand new, so that's why it's only up for 23, okay? But if you go to the last 5 days, you will see it's more active, okay? So that's what I want you guys to really look at, all right? So Bitwise is up, but remember, it's new. So these numbers are not going to reflect real life growth because these, IBIT is not as old as, Bitcoin. So you're going to see some skewed numbers, and Bitwise just came out, all right? And so now we can see that you could buy the ETFs via Bitcoin, via iShares, IBIT, and then you can buy Bitwise's XRP, and you can own them in ETFs, and you can own the outright cryptos, whatever crypto, if it's Coinbase, if it's Robinhood, whatever platform you choose to use, you could have that. All right, good people. So now, here at Larry Jones TV, we are spiritual. We are believers. This is where we get to be ourselves. Eventually, I'm going to talk about the foolishness on both sides. Politically, that's going to be next year. Right now, I want to inspire you. And if you're young and you're listening to me, there's a reason why you're listening to me. I want you to be wealthy. I want you to be healthy. And I want you to build wealth, not just financially. I want you to keep your temples clean. I want you to keep your minds clean. And I want you to grow spiritually also. Now, my message today is actually a scripture from 2 Corinthians 9:6. And it's about sowing and reaping, which is a term that's been used for thousands of years in the farming industry. You plant, you water, you seed, you cultivate the land. You don't eat unless you plant, you sow. All right. And then after you sow and you take care of it, you have a harvest. That's when you get your reward. Remember, in investing, it's the same way, but it goes far beyond investing. Look at this, good people. I want you to understand that these are laws. They are both spiritual laws and they are laws here on the earth. It literally reaping and sowing. Sowing and reaping is a law. It is a momentum. It's a verb. It goes every day. It's a living being, reaping and sowing. These are laws that are above our laws here on the earth. It's above the law of you run a red light and a cop sees you, you get a ticket. Why? You broke the law. Well, these laws are forever lasting. Look, sow sparingly, reap sparingly is look at that, principle from 2 Corinthians 9:16 in the Bible, meaning you generously or lack thereof in giving time, talents, or resources. Key meanings. Let's go to the key meanings. You see here, metaphor of farming. It is used to imagine of a farmer. If they plant few seeds, sow sparingly, right? So that means you're stingy, all right? They will get few crops. They reap sparingly, all right? If you sow generously, you get generously. It applies to all giving. Look at that. It extends beyond money to include your efforts, your skill, time, and kindness. All right. It goes to matters of the heart. You're not supposed to give grudgingly or of necessity. You're supposed to give with a cheerful heart. Now, a lot of people have only heard that in church. But listen to this, good people. You start by giving to yourself, right? Now, what I mean by that is we give God his first. Let's talk about here on this earth with a paycheck. You should give to yourself. After me, I give God his first. All right. He asked for a tenth. He loaned me the money and I give him his 10 back plus. Okay. And time and talents. It showed you here all of the ways we're supposed to give back. And I will get to that. Okay. Look at that. Remember, it goes beyond your money. It goes far beyond your money. It hits all of these things that will help you to grow as a person, okay? Extends beyond money to include your effort, skill, time, and kindness. And so some people say, well, I don't have a lot of money. You can give kindness. You could give your time. You can give your talents. Those are some of the things that we're supposed to give daily. All right. So let's rewind and go pay ourselves. I pay myself first after I take care of my tithe and my alms and all of that. And then I give a lot. All right. Let's just say that. And I challenge you to do, because if you're like this, you can't receive. If you're like this, you can receive, but you got to be like this sometimes when you're giving. All right. And this just doesn't mean just in church. Now, When I get paid, and I'm challenging you, this is financial advice. Every single time you get paid, you should be paying yourself. And I suggest starting with 10%. And I know everyone can't do that because your bills are requiring all of your money. And that's a trick of the enemy. We'll talk about that down the road in a later video. But start paying yourself, and I would say no less than 5%. And if you don't have 5%, you need to get a side hustle and create 5%. Paying yourself is not putting your money in the bank. Paying yourself is putting your money in somewhere that will grow. I showed you guys on the other page where just having money in my Fidelity was over 3.5% that they're paying me on my money. I make in one portfolio, I just showed you guys two of in the same portfolio in Fidelity, but I make about $1,500 per month for them just holding my money. That's how you pay yourself. Larry, how often do you put in that? Every time I get paid, every single time I get paid, I put a portion in and I pay myself. Not sparingly, I pay myself generously, right? Because all of the other stuff, the stuff that we buy is making the 5% wealthier. Then, good people, this is the most important part of sowing and reaping. I give generously to people, all right? After I give to my church, and I would only give to a church that are doing something outside of the church, okay? I don't care if I have preachers here that are getting upset. If your church is just taking care of the four walls of the church and not even taking care of the members, then we praying for you. Your focus is off. But I know many ministries that do stuff outside of the church and take care of communities. First of all, the church is supposed to take care of the members of the church. Okay, so it's needed for us to take care of the church so we can take care of the member of the churches. Charity starts at home. Then, I don't care who it is. You know a neighbor that's struggling because God is watching. You know a family member that's struggling. You can't help everybody. And I'm not talking about leeches, but you could give your time and your talent. Now, if you don't have money, you have time. And that time may be going over and checking on them and seeing how are they doing. Do you need me to replace that board on your step? Do you need me to take out your garbage? You need me to shovel your snow? I had two widows here. One of them has recently passed. She was 87. And I have another one that her husband passed. And she doesn't look anything like me. But ever since I've been here for 20 years now, when the snow hits, since her husband passed, so when the snow hits, I take care of her snow, even when I have to use a shovel. And it's not always easy. But what I'm going to tell you is God smiles on you when he sees you giving, sowing, okay, generously. And that's what this scripture is talking about. And when you speak kind words to even the waitresses, the busboys, to the least of them, God is smiling on you and he will reward you in every asset or every aspect. He will reward you with time. He will reward you with finance. He will reward you with favor. So we're supposed to give generously and not sparingly, and not be stingy and not be cheap. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. Give and it shall be given. We're talking about reaping and sowing, and give and it shall be given. And today's message was everything outside of the church, because we hear it all the time in the church. Okay, so if you're listening to me, I'm telling you how to live a good life. Again, I want you to read 2 Corinthians 9 and 6. Okay. All right. And I just want you to just Google it. I like to, sometimes this doesn't get it right, but it tells you about sparingly and generously. Okay. So if you give sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. Okay. But remember the reward. It extends beyond money to include your efforts, skills, time, and kindness. And everyone can be kind. I always say, be kind, rewind, and do it again. All right, good people? It's been a minute. You got to know I got to play this outro, and I will see you later. Make sure that you check out the tabs beneath, and make sure if you want Stock Up You to use coupon code LEARN, LEARN, and we will see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Oh.